Hey guys, it's Steven here, and today I'm back with another movie review, and today in this video I'm going to be reviewing Transformers The Last Knight. So, Transformers The Last Knight is once again directed by Michael Bay, and is the fifth installment in the Transformers franchise, and in this film, Optimus Prime has turned evil, and he's come back to Earth for this ancient Cybertronian relic or artifact that Megatron and his Decepticons want to get their hands on, because this relic has the ability to basically destroy Earth. So now, Cade Yeager, played by Mark Wahlberg, and his small group of Autobots have to get to this relic, stop Megatron, bring back Prime, and save the world from annihilation for the fifth time. So, guys, let's get into it. Let's first start off with the acting. Now, let me just say that I've decided to change things up a little bit. For each segment with acting, directing, script, story, and technical qualities, there will be a rating out of 4 stars. And I will add all those up and then divide it by 4, and that'll be my final rating for the movie. So I'm not doing letter grades anymore, it's out of 4. So I think the acting is pretty good for the most part. Now, Mark Wahlberg was one of the bright spots of Age of Extinction, and I think the same could be said for him here. He's pretty good in this movie. He's a likable character, he's kind of an interesting character. He brings some physicality to his performance. He's good in the action scenes. And overall, I just think Mark Wahlberg did a pretty good job. And the other supporting characters were good as well, like Laura Haydick, who plays Vivian Wembley, who's like this British historian, I believe. She does a pretty good job. Isabel Moner, who played the young girl in the movie. Well, I thought she was really good, and she was, a strong female character, which is something that I feel the Transformers movies have been lacking. I feel like she was kind of underused. It's like there's a point in this movie where, she pretty much, she's shown in the first act, and then, in between the first act and the third act, she kind of just, disappears completely, and that kind of, disappointed me. But she was still good in the movie nonetheless. Anthony Hopkins is Anthony Hopkins, okay? Anthony Hopkins is a phenomenal actor, and we all know that, okay? He's probably one of the greatest actors of all time. And, I mean, here, it's kind of a cliche to say that he's good in this movie, which he is, for the most part. And, of course, as far as the voice acting, Peter Cullen and Frank Welker as the voices of Optimus Prime and Megatron are amazing. And, but then there's still a few human characters, and it's not exactly, it might also be their performances, but it's just the character itself. There's this one scientist character who's in the third act who, tries to prove everyone wrong because, he tries to use, logic or something. I did not like his character at all. I found him completely annoying and completely unnecessary, and I think every time he came on screen, I was just just get back to the Autobots already. But the acting is still pretty solid in this movie, and as far as my rating, I will probably give the acting a rating of a 3 out of 4 stars. So, next, let's move on to the directing. Now, Michael Bay is kind of considered as one of the more hated directors in Hollywood for his movies like the Transformers sequels, or, Pearl Harbor, or, Pain and Gain. But personally, I don't think he's a bad director. He has done some good things in the past, like The Rock, The Island, the first Transformers, 13 Hours. I'd even go as far as to say Transformers Dark and the Moon. And I feel like he did direct the other Transformers movies, and I think if you've seen the other Transformers movies, you pretty much know the way that this film's directed. A lot of slow-mo shots, a lot of oversaturated colors, a lot of explosions. And I think his directing is okay for the most part. I feel like when it comes to him directing, action scenes and just well put together productions, I think that's what he's good at. Especially, he's proven that with the Transformers movies. Even Revenge of the Fallen, despite that movie sucking. I think that the thing that he's not good at, however, is establishing certain characters and especially infusing humor, which I'll get more into that when I get to the script and the story. So, as far as the directing, it's, okay, as I said. I'd give it a 2 out of 4 stars. Next, let's move on to the script and the story. Now I think this is where this movie starts to fall flat. The script is pretty bad. I'd actually go as far as to say that it is quite awful. Okay, it's just this film. Why is the script so bad? It's because this film is really trying hard to be funny, and pretty much all the comedy or the jokes in this movie just fall flat on their face, or fall flat on its face. Excuse me. It's just like every time, like it was just the humor was so. Not only was it just like unnecessary, it just felt awkward and annoying. Especially like they tried to infuse humor into the medieval times era, and it did not work like at all. And just like every time, like there are times. Excuse my stuttering. But there are times when, like, there are these big, intense moments, and then they're just, like, brought down quickly by some, like, corny one-liner, and I thought that was terrible. And, and I was talking about that scientist character before. Every line he said was annoying. Okay, I couldn't stand it. Aside from, like, I probably laughed at, like, a thing or two about this movie, but aside from that, the humor is just awful, and the story it's pretty much like the same thing we've seen in the other Transformers movies. So, as far as script and story, 1 out of 4 stars. Okay. Next, let's move on to the technical qualities. Now, I think I mentioned, Michael Bay's movies and well put together productions, and that's what something that these Transformers movies do have. And in terms of technical aspects, pretty much all these Transformers movies, including this one, are great. Like, the CGI, the sound design, the art direction, and all that, and the production is great. Wait, excuse me. Um, so I think as far as technical qualities, it's the CG looks good. It's convincing. I mean, can you tell it's CGI? Yes, but I mean you can't overlook that. I mean it's CGI, and then sound design is pretty good. My one problem with the technical aspects of this movie is I don't know if it's either an editing or a cinematography choice, but there's quite a few scenes when it's like the camera like changes in and out of aspect ratio. Like there are times when it goes from black bars on the top and bottom of the screen into like no black bars, and it keeps coming back, and like it goes back and forth to the point where I was kind of irritated by it. And I feel like you could tell certain scenes were filmed with IMAX, and the IMAX scenes were really cool. So I will give this movie that. So, as far as the technical qualities, just because, of the fact that, of those black bars on the screen always popping up, I'm not going to give it a perfect score on that. I'll give it a 3 out of 4. So, my overall thoughts on the movie goes is it's not terrible. It's not like the worst movie of the year, like some people are saying it is. I mean, there are some enjoyable moments. Some of the acting's good, the directing's good for the most part, but I think the script is really where this movie, as I said, falls on its face. So, my overall rating is a 2.25 out of 5 stars. So, guys, let me know down in the comment section below, what is your favorite Transformers TV animated series? Well, for me, it's easy to say the original Generation 1. I would go with Transformers Prime. So, thanks as always for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.